So another streamer has come out trying to defend Hasan, and similarly to others who have attempted this, well, her points are absolutely terrible. This is Sasha Grey, someone I wasn't even familiar with until this morning when I saw this clip going around. And I guess she made a name for herself by making adult films. Yeah, and in this clip, in her attempts to run defense for Hasan, she says a number of crazy things, such as, if you criticize Hasan, it's just Islamophobia. Which is, it's such a desperate thing to say. And then she essentially also makes a point that I can't believe she actually said, which is, if you see a dog crying out in pain, you're supposed to ignore it. Like, what kind of person could see a dog crying out in pain and is just going to ignore it? Like, not going to feel bad for the dog, not going to check on the dog, especially if it's your own dog too, in this context. But that's the sort of stuff that Hasan's defenders are running with now. It's really astonishing. It's just making them all look so bad. Here's the clip. Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's the clip that everybody went crazy over. But when I say crazy, I mean it went crazy. Full on Islamophobia, people coming out of the woodworks, calling him the F word, going completely insane, saying he was yelling at his dog. I mean, this is like, isn't this how he always sounds? So, if your dog yelps like that, I'm running over to ask if it's okay. Well, I think this is a really good teaching moment for animal owners. Did you know in most basic training guides that they say if your animal yelps like this, you are not supposed to pay attention to it. Yeah, you're not supposed to tend to the animal, because then it associates that shock or that pain with the validation of human attention. So unless your animal is severely injured where you need to tend to it and get it help, if it's something like this, that's a quick yelp, you're supposed to let it be and not engage too much.
Yeah, so she is just so wrong about that. It is insane. Like, no, your dog doesn't need to be literally bleeding out with a severe injury for you to go check on it. Yes, even if it has like a minor injury and it yelped in pain, you should you should go check on your dog and comfort your dog. It's really astonishing that she is so wrong about this, but says it with such conviction. And you know my opinion on this stuff already. So to give you an example of someone else's opinion that is completely different from hers on like regarding Hasan showing what seems to be no care for Kaya crying out in pain, and Sasha Grey apparently agreeing with that, saying like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. Well, I'd like to play you a part of Omni's coverage of the Hasan situation, because I think what he said here is spot on. Great take.
My thing that makes me feel a little bit weird about it, again, is if my dog yelps like that, if my animals, anything yelps like that, bro, I am literally diving. I'm going to dive at them and then cradle them for 10 minutes. My baby, my baby, my baby. You know what I'm saying, bro? So like the fact that he kind of seems more irritated, that doesn't sit well with me. That doesn't sit well with me at all as a pet owner. No, like when you see your animal show that kind of sign of like that barking, that kind of sadness, I feel like the first instinct is to come to them to make them feel better. My opinion.
So yeah, like I said, I think Omni made a great take there, and it reminded me of what I said also in my initial coverage of this whole Hasan incident from a few days ago, and I'll play that portion again. It's really brief, like 30 seconds right here, and then we'll move on to the rest of Sasha Grey's take.
Is from when Kaya yelped. Yeah, she yelped because she clipped herself on something when she was getting off the bed.
So he tries to make it sound like she did not actually get shocked like the majority of people seem to be saying. No, what happened, according to him, is that she clipped herself like getting back onto the bed. Hypothetically, even if he's not lying about that, it's still an extremely bizarre way of handling all this, because he didn't show any concern about her clipping herself either. I don't know in what world a caring dog owner doesn't get up from the stream and walk over to the dog and like check on the dog, even if briefly, right? Like, I'm not saying he had to spend a lot of time on it, but you think he would at least get up and be like, Kaya, are you okay? Like what happened? You know, give the dog a nice big hug or something and be sure Kaya's okay. But instead, he doesn't do that. So yeah, do you think like Omni and I are just completely off base on this? And not just Omni and I think a lot of people share the same opinion, but I'm not going to compile like everything here. I just happened to watch Omni's video recently, so it came to my mind. But yeah, what do you think about Omni's take, my take, and Sasha Grey's take, which we will also continue watching right now?
Same thing actually goes for dreams, by the way. If your dog is, or your animal is having a nightmare, you're not supposed to wake it up, no matter how bad you feel.
Okay, let's talk about this whole dream thing really quick. First of all, I don't know why she even brought that up. It seems like she made such a terrible point with the whole like don't check on your dog if it's not severely injured thing, that she just randomly brings up something that's unrelated to try and sound like she's educated on this topic or something. It's just weird. Now that said, I don't think she's wrong about this one. I've at least like heard that ever since I was a little kid, even like, oh yeah, don't wake up your dog, it's having a nightmare. They say like the dog might be confused and lash out at you or something. Well, for the record, when I still had my dog, rest in peace, love you, bro, great dog. Point being, when I had my dog, there were a few times I thought maybe he's having a nightmare. You can just like tell when they're dreaming sometimes. They're like kind of shaky or like twitchy and stuff. And it's like concerning, but yeah, I didn't wake him up except one time where it looked like this dude was having a real bad nightmare. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm waking my dog up. Screw that. I'm not letting him suffer through his crazy freaking nightmare. Like maybe he's dreaming about like being taken to the vet or something, or you know what I mean? So actually I did wake my dog up very carefully that one time. And it's the sort of thing where it's like, sure, I heard that like the dog might bite you if it's having a nightmare and you wake it up, but I don't even care at this point. I'll take the bite. I just don't want my dog to suffer. But yeah, it ended up being totally fine. I went over there very gently, like said his name a few times, and then when he was like slowly opening his eyes and I could tell like, oh dude, he's fine, I like actually pet him gently, held him in my arms gently, was like, it's okay bro, I'm here, like all's good, you good bro. And then shortly after that he went back to sleep, and it seemed like he was having a great sleep after that. So I mean, it all worked out pretty dang well. Anyways, thanks for your patience as I walked down memory lane there for a second. But returning to Sasha Grey's take, I think she says the Islamophobia stuff next, so let's continue.
Anyways, this is him showing the collar today, so the next day.
This is the one that people are talking about. Okay, this is the one. This is the one that they saw. It has the capacity to vibrate, and that's it. Are you happy? That's it. Good. There's the AirTag. There's the fucking vibrator. It also has a flashlight component to it at nighttime. And it also has a tracker on it when she gets lost. If she were to actually get fucking lost.
Showing a random, it's not a random collar. If you look at the collar she's wearing in the video before and you look at the one in his hand, they look identical. And if you're going so far down the conspiracy rabbit hole that, oh, he ran to get another one and make it look identical. Nah, man. If you want to doubt, you can doubt anything. This is true. And I think that's I think that's the most common thing happening here, is that people jump on the bandwagon. They want to cope because they want to see him canceled and fall, because they differ in political beliefs. But man, like, you lose all credit. You can hate him, you can love him, but you lose all credibility when you start with Islamophobia and the F word for somebody you don't like. This has nothing to do with the dog. Exactly.
It's insane how many of his defenders keep like automatically like displaying such terminally online brain rot for politics that they just can't conceive that people would criticize Hasan for mistreating his dogs without having some kind of political agenda. So many of his defenders have said this exact same thing. Like, no, believe it or not, there are people out there who simply just don't like what they've seen him doing towards his dog, and they're talking about it. I've even seen people who have no like care about political commentary even talking about the Hasan situation. People you would never expect to even ever be talking about Hasan, and they're still talking about this simply because they heard about this dude mistreating his dog, and they looked up the clips for themselves and they couldn't believe what they saw. And so many people are talking about this now, way outside of the realm of politics. But to these ardent defenders of his, they just can't conceive that everything has to be directly related to politics. So yeah, that's the Sasha Grey stuff. Let me know what you think about that. And in other news, we've got Yeet posting a new Kaya clip, and Colorgate is making waves right now. What do you think? Oh no.
Commemorative mug I got from England. Commemorative mug I got from England specifically for when I was there when he was getting commemorated.
People are saying things like, the poor dog even has to lay down a specific way. FFS man, Hasan is evil. This one facetiously saying, I don't see anything wrong with this. The streamer's just giving shock treatment to his dog for not laying down the way he wants. Emerald Apple saying he totally reached over and zapped the dog for sleeping on the bed improperly. And this one saying, so this guy shocks his dog for not laying down in the correct position for the stream. Does he know that pets aren't props? So of course it is difficult to know what's going on in that clip for sure, because we don't see what's on his desk. But what does make this odd is both in this clip, which apparently happened before the Kaya clip that's been going viral from a few days ago now, in both that one and this one, both clips, he does seem to like move to the upper left side of his desk, seems to be reaching for something, and then Kaya moves in both clips, except in the one that went viral from a few days ago, she also audibly lets out a yelp on top of moving. And yeah, part of me does think like maybe nothing happened here. Maybe it's a reach, but it really doesn't seem like it is. Because again, like let's play it back. I'm going to turn off the audio though. But like if we play this back, you can see like he literally does seem to reach for something, and he even stops talking. So I'll turn the audio on here again now, which the implication would be that like, you know, he's doing something else, right? And then at the exact moment, that's when Kaya gets up and moves. That plus all the other clips we've seen of this guy, like the tail pulling clip, the alleged shocking clip, him like glaring at Kaya and she like cowardly walks back to the bed. Clip of like Kaya going to see her mom and she's happy about that. And he's like, no, Kaya, you can't move. Like she can't even be happy and like want to see her mom without getting reprimanded by Hasan. Like taking in all the contextual stuff that we've seen around here. And this clip is also, it's just not a good look, man. So here, one more time.
From England.
I don't know, man. Doesn't look good, though. And then lastly, we've got a little update here on Valkyrae, who the other day was also running defense for Hasan. Valkyrae asked advice to NMP, LOL, and Asmongold regarding her current Reddit hate threads. Now, the comedy part here is looking at her chat when she says that she asked Asmongold for advice. The chat is just like seething. So take a look at the chat in the top left corner of this one, and yeah, here you go.
And that's okay. I messaged 2 people about LSF. I messaged Nick Polam, and I messaged Asmongold. I asked both of them. I was like, hey, I don't really use Reddit a whole lot, but like, do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea if I respond to a post and be like, oh, I understand where you guys are coming from. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I should have definitely like spoken about it differently.
You gotta love how within seconds there's even a chatter being like, Asmongold, that guy's a Nazi. It's just so pathetic, bro. It's good for entertainment at least, but like, my gosh, these people are just a hive mind. I wonder what the next word they're gonna water down is. So they watered down racist, homophobe, transphobe, fascist. Now they're watering down Nazi. I would say it's even watered down at this point. So who knows what they'll pick next. But for now, they're still on calling everyone a Nazi.
And both of them reassured me that it's a good idea to not, because I know they're like, they're Reddit people. So I was like, they both said, they're both very nice, and they both said, yeah, don't respond. It's not a good idea. Yes, Asmongold and Nick Polam, because I know those are like the 2 people that I know like participate in Reddit stuff a lot. So I got some.
So I just find it funny how like at one point, what was it, like 80% or even 90% of the chats on screen there were people just like crashing out over Asmongold. Look, ultimately, all Valkyrae had to do was not make a terrible take where she was comparing people, criticizing, excuse me, let me rephrase. She was essentially saying that you can't criticize Hasan for this. Why are you so concerned about a dog when there's a genocide going on in Palestine? Which was just such a bad thing to say. So yeah, hopefully she's had some character development since then and realized that was like a really bad take. And for anyone who didn't see it, I'll just play like that portion of it. It's just like 10 seconds long for the context. If you haven't seen what I'm talking about.
Yes, I have seen the Kaya stuff. It's kind of crazy. You would think that this kind of outrage, we would have seen it towards like the genocide and stuff, but this priorities in this world are not where they should be.
This actually relates to what we were talking about earlier in this video. I mean, obviously the Hasan stuff does, but I'm talking about how his defenders can't talk about this topic without trying to link it to politics somehow. It's as if their default state of mind just has them instantly try to virtue signal about something to deflect from the actual issue that's being discussed at hand. But as I said earlier, hopefully she's had some character growth from all this. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments, and hope you've had a great weekend. Let's also have a great week ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.